Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I have my scope out guide for the Kortz Center heist. I'm sorry for being a day late on this, but I don't like to rush guides out. I like to take my time with everything, and I wanted to make sure that I got all my information correct and I didn't mess anything up. Now anyways, to start up this heist, the first thing that I recommend you do when you go right inside the Kortz Center is to immediately go to the security room. The reason you want to immediately go to the security room and take care of that is because if you actually get thrown out a certain amount of times out of the Kortz Center, it's if you get caught in this camera, you get this animation. If that happens, what ends up happening is you get teleported right back to the mansion. You have to drive all the way back over there, and on top of that, everything that you took a picture of gets deleted, and you have to do it all over again. Now, I don't know how many times this takes to trigger, because one time I had it where I messed up 3 times, and I got caught by that camera, and then everything got deleted. I got transported back to the mansion, but another time I got caught 5 times in a row on purpose to see if it would happen, and it didn't happen. But regardless is, you want to go inside the security room the first thing you do before you take any pictures, just so you can check what's in the vault, and in case that happens, all of your progress doesn't get removed. So just go in here, go into the cameras and take a look at everything. Take a look at the maintenance, which the maintenance is going to be important for the sewer access, which I'll talk about a little bit later. You also want to take a look at the loading dock, which will be important for the underground garage that you enter. Basically, go through all of these here, and you really only want to scan each area once. You only do it really one time, but the one that you want to check every single time over and over again is the vault. So every time you do the heist, you want to really go into the vault, but every single other one than that, once you do it the first time, it's useless. But you want to check what the paintings are in there, what the target is inside of the vault. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is I wanted to talk about the 2 other things. On the lower floor of the Kortz Center, there is actually a basement access right here, and I completely missed this on my first time. I didn't realize that there was an extra door that you had to take a picture of inside here. I want to thank some of my viewers for actually telling me about this, but the basement access, take a picture of it, you send it to Raph, and then you never need to do that again. It's in there, and you can use it on the heist. The other thing that you want to take a picture of is you want to actually take a picture of the alarm panel. So the alarm panel is actually on that lower floor. It's right behind the desk with the computers. Usually there's also a guard there during the heist, but when you're scoping it out, you can walk right past there. They're not going to throw you out for being there. Take a picture of it. Now, I don't think that the alarm, I don't think that it moves. I think that the panel is always here because I've done the heist a few times and the panel has always been here. But if it does move, somebody please let me know in the comments. But I'm pretty certain that it doesn't move. It just stays right here. Now that we've taken care of that, the basement, the access, the alarm, we taken a picture of that, and we taken a look at all of the cameras. What we do is we then scope out everything. And there's basically 3 floors. You might want to start with the lower floor because the lower floor has basically the least amount of stuff in it. Take pictures of it, but be warned that you cannot double take a picture, which meaning that if there is 2 items in your picture frame, you're only going to take info for that one specific item. So you're going to have to take multiple pictures for the items. So just basically keep that in mind because that did mess up a few people. And also the items are not always in the exact same location. Sometimes there's paintings on certain walls, and then another time when you scope it out, there's no paintings there. Other times there's glass containers that are empty. And other times they're full. And sometimes the glass containers actually have stuff that you cannot take a picture of. Like I've had it happen one time where I get rocks, and those rocks are not valuable at all. It looks like a glass container that you can smash, but it's actually useless. And it's not valuable at all. But what you want to do is you want to keep an eye out specifically for the yellow items. Now, the yellow items, there's between 2 and 3 of them. At minimum, there's 2. Maximum that I've personally seen is 3. And you can find out what these rare items are by actually checking your phone. Raph will actually text you, and he'll show you exactly what you need to get. And once you take a picture of it, that item will always appear yellow whenever you're going back in to scope it out on that specific heist. But when you restart and do another one, those yellow items are going to be different. And these yellow items are valuable because if you get both of them or you get all 3 of them, depending on how much you get around a $50,000 bonus. So you always want to go for the yellow items. However, though, the yellow items, sometimes they are actually in that display that's upstairs. I think it's called the Crisp Gallery, which actually has a little bit more rare loot in it. And in order to actually get inside of here during the heist, one person actually needs to go into the security room when you're doing the finale and actually open it while the other person grabs it. So you need a minimum of 2 people. So just keep that in mind, that if you have a yellow item up here or you want to get in here, you need to have somebody in the security room hit the button, and then somebody else goes in there and takes that item. Additionally, sometimes the yellow items are not even on the showroom floor. They're actually deep inside the vault. So that's why you want to check the cameras like you see right here. So I had both of my yellow items, one in the, upper area where you need 2 people to open it, and then another one in the vault. Now, if you're doing it solo, then I wouldn't bother with this here because, you can't go into this area unless you have 2 people. But if you're going for gold, which is a little bit more valuable, then you're going to need 2 people if you have it in this particular location. But I've had it happen where I get these gold items, and they're not locked behind that second floor at all. They're, downstairs, they're on the lower floor, etc., etc. Also, when you're doing the finale, if you hold right on the D-pad, you can actually see if you've actually gotten the items. So you can basically have a little checklist of that. Now that we've done pretty much everything in here, you take pictures of, the upper floor, the lower floor, and the middle floor. Once we basically take care of that, it'll show us values of the items when you actually get near them, so you know which ones are better to take. We're going outside. And outside, we're going to want to take pictures of 4 entrances. These are 4 approaches that you can enter the heist with. And the first one is, by default, Raph will tell you exactly where it is. It's right when you exit. It is the side entrance. Take a picture of that. And you got that. That is for the key card. And then the other one that we have is we have the underground garage. This is on the right side of the Kortz Center. It's actually right when you are coming in. You just take a picture of that, and you're good on that. The next one is going to be the manhole. It's in the maze. If you have like an air vehicle, you can actually take a picture of it. So I took a picture in a helicopter because I didn't feel like going in the maze. But it's actually not that complicated to figure out the maze once you got the pattern. And then the other one is the skylight. The skylight is on the roof. It's on the right side from the maze, or it will be on the left side when you are actually entering. It's very hard to miss. It's a pretty big skylight. But now that we've taken pictures of all of those entrances, the other thing I wanted to cover is I wanted to cover the manhole keys. So there is basically 5 different manhole locations, and I will show you them. So you need the manhole key if you are going through the sewer entrance from that area I showed you with the maze right there. So the first location, and this is the one that I've had it spawn in for me twice. I don't know if I'm just happen to be lucky or if it spawns the most here, but it's actually on this staircase right here on the right side. That is where you get one. You also get one right here, right when you enter the area. It's going to be right on the right side, right in the entrance in the Kortz Center. There's another one on the left side of the entrance of the Kortz Center. You run over here, and it's easy to spot these because you can see some kind of construction equipment like tables and ladders and so forth. And you have another one that's actually on this construction table that's right underneath this staircase, and you have another one that would be right here on this ladder. So it's about 5 locations. I don't think that there are any more, but if there are any more locations, please let me know down below in the comments. And lastly here, I wanted to cover the most frustrating and annoying thing about the scope out. Now, this really pissed me off because I spent hours and hours and hours trying to figure this out yesterday, and it was actually so simple, and the game does such a terrible job of basically explaining this to you. So if you actually go into the art studio, you can see basically an entire figurine of the Kortz Center. And in that figurine, you basically see these blue little figures that are supposed to represent entryways and points of interest. Now, I have taken pictures of most of these, areas. The entryways, they all worked, and then some of the other blue ones worked, but some of the other ones, they don't work. So when you actually go up to the area where the board actually tells you where that blue figurine is, and you take a picture, nothing happens. So what's the reasoning for that? The reasoning for that is this, is that there is basically 3 blue figures for 3 radio towers, and there's also 3 blue figures for 3 electrical boxes. But here's the catch. You only need to take a picture of 1 electrical box and 1 tower, which means that if you take a picture of a single tower, then you don't have to take a picture of the other 2 towers. And when you take a picture of one of the electrical boxes, you don't have to take a picture of the other 2 electrical boxes. So basically, that whole thing was there. It was confusing. I wish the game did a better job of explaining that to you. And what this basically does is, if you take a picture of the radio towers, this will unlock the additional prep mission in which you can find out the guard routes. So make sure you do that, especially for stealth playthroughs. It's essentially important. And once you take a picture of the electrical box, that will unlock the EMP mission, where you can cut the power and also get rid of the camera feed. Now, I recommend to take a picture of this radio tower that's right here. This would be on the left side of the entrance to the Kortz Center, or it would be on the right side if you're facing the opposite direction. Take a picture of that one, and if you actually run across, you can actually just jump right down here and take a picture of this electrical box. They're both right next to each other, and you can just knock those out. So just don't go crazy with the extra other, blue figurines up there. I don't know why they put so many of those blue figurines up there and they didn't change the color when you would take the picture. I wish it was much more like Casino Heist with that, because that really made me go insane. I was running around trying to take pictures, thinking that I missed something, when in reality is you only need to take a picture of one tower and one electrical box. But that is pretty much it for this scoping out guide. I hope that this guide has helped you guys out. If you did find this helpful, please do drop a like on this. It does help me to make more guides like this. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one, and I will have more guides on this heist coming up. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful day, guys.